Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Today, we're delving into the core philosophy of the AI company Anthropic, drawing our insights from an ABC News interview with co-founder Daniela Amodei.
So where do we begin our analysis? Well, interestingly enough, with a Super Bowl ad. But you'll see that for Anthropic, this was much more than just a typical marketing play. It was really a public declaration of their business philosophy and a very clear statement on the future of how we interact with AI.
In the ad for their AI assistant, Claude, a user asks a very heartfelt question, which is then humorously, but also quite pointedly misinterpreted by an ad-serving AI. And while it's a funny line, it makes a very serious point, that intrusive advertising can completely corrupt the entire purpose of a conversation.
As many of Anthropic's competitors are exploring how to place ads inside AI chats, Anthropic is really positioning itself very differently. Amodei makes their stance quite clear. Private, personal, and confidential AI conversations are simply not the right place for ads. It really comes down to a matter of respecting user data and intent. This all leads to a fundamental split in business models. Amodei contrasts the ad-based incentive structure, which is designed to maximize your time on screen, with Anthropic's own subscription model. You see, their goal isn't to keep you talking, it's to help you solve your problem as efficiently as possible so you can get on with your work.
And right here, Amodei draws a direct line to the well-documented problems we've seen with social media. The core concern she's articulating is that an ad-supported AI, one that's designed to keep you engaged for as long as possible, inevitably starts to treat you, your attention, your data, as the actual product being sold.
So, this decision to reject an advertising model isn't just an isolated business choice. It actually stems directly from a foundational philosophy of safety that is woven right into the company's structure and its entire technical approach. One of the key steps they took was to incorporate as a public benefit corporation. Amodei explains this was a very deliberate choice. It legally codifies their commitment to public benefit and safety, making sure it remains central to their mission and not just a secondary concern after profit.
On the technology side, this philosophy is put into practice through a framework they call constitutional AI. So instead of the AI just learning from massive amounts of human text, it's explicitly trained to align its own behavior with a constitution of ethical principles.
And this constitution is really built on three main pillars. The model has to strive to be helpful in achieving whatever the user's goal is. It needs to be honest in the information it provides, and, critically, it must be harmless in its outputs and its overall impact.
Now, what Amodei notes as particularly insightful is the admission that these pillars are not always in perfect alignment. There's an inherent tension. For example, a request might be helpful but potentially harmful. The model has to constantly navigate the tension between these principles, and that complex balancing act is a core focus of Anthropic's research. Okay, so if the goal isn't to maximize our engagement, then what is the intended purpose of this technology? Well, the focus shifts from replacement to augmentation. That is, using AI as a tool to amplify human capability.
This quote from Amodei, I think, perfectly captures the vision. She argues that when these AI tools are designed correctly, they empower us to take on more ambitious projects and solve problems much more effectively. The objective is to enhance our ability to think, not to do the thinking for us. Now, here's a counterintuitive point. Amodei, who is a literature major herself, argues that this technology makes skills from the humanities more valuable than ever. While AI is already excellent at many STEM tasks, it's the uniquely human skills, things like communication, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, and a deep understanding of human context that become the key differentiators for career success.
This vision for augmentation, of course, leads to broader societal questions, and particularly two of the most pressing concerns that people have: the future of work and the safety of children. When it comes to the fear of mass job loss, Amodei states that their real-world data shows a very clear trend. Today, the impact of AI is overwhelmingly one of augmentation, making workers more productive, while instances of full job automation remain, in her words, a vanishingly small number. And on the issue of child safety, Anthropic's position is both firm and cautious. Their official policy prohibits anyone under the age of 18 from using their chatbot, Claude. Amodei explains that the reasoning here is pretty straightforward. The technology is just too new, and not enough is known about its potential impact on developing brains. Given all this uncertainty, they believe a very cautious approach is the only responsible one, and they are actively engaging with lawmakers to help develop thoughtful regulation.
So what about the long-term vision? How does Anthropic plan to navigate the future as they build these increasingly powerful AI systems in a responsible way?
The scale of what's being contemplated here is truly immense. We are moving far beyond today's chatbots into something that could be genuinely transformative for all of society.
This is the metaphor Anthropic's leadership uses to describe the potential of AI systems less than a decade from now. It suggests having access to expertise at or even beyond the highest human levels for almost any discipline, all available on demand.
To navigate this kind of future, Amodei describes a core company value they call holding light and shade. And what this means is simultaneously acknowledging the incredible potential for good, like curing diseases, while also being transparent about and actively working to mitigate the profound risks, like societal disruption.
But crucially, this can't be done in a vacuum. Amodei asserts that AI companies have a responsibility to act as functional experts, arming policymakers and the public with the knowledge they need to make good decisions. It really requires a true partnership.
And this really leaves us with this central question guiding this entire field. The technology's trajectory seems clear, but the path to ensuring it serves all of us is one that we have to build collaboratively, by balancing this immense opportunity with a profound sense of responsibility.
Thank you for watching. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. If you like these videos, use the QR code at the beginning or end of this video to buy us a coffee. Please subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel, and remember to like, comment, and share to help us reach a wider audience.